I welcome you all for Standard 8 subject General Science. Today we will be doing with chapter number 7 Metals and Non-Metals. My name is Ms. Jagjit Kaur. Before beginning with the chapter, let us understand what are the learning objectives. So students, in this chapter, you will be learning about the physical and chemical properties of metals. Also, you will be learning about the physical and chemical properties of non-metals. Then we will be understanding what are noble metals and its uses. Also, we will be understanding about purity of gold. Then what is corrosion and how the corrosion can be prevented, and what is an alloy. Students, can you recall what are the three types in which the elements are generally classified? Yes, the elements are classified in three general types, which are as follows, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now the next question, what are the metals and non-metals that we use in everyday life? Yes, metals that we use in everyday life are gold, silver and platinum, which are used in jewelry. Aluminium and copper are used in making cooking utensils. Mercury is used in thermometer. Calcium is used in making chalk. And the non-metals that we use in everyday life are diamond, which is an allotrope of carbon, is used in jewelry. Now, what is allotrope? Allotrope is the property of some chemical elements to exist in two or more different forms in the same physical state is known as allotropes of the elements. Then we have oxygen. Oxygen is used by living organisms for breathing. Nitrogen is used in the fertilizers. Chlorine is used in purifying water. Matchstick contains phosphorus. Pencil lead is made up of graphite. So we can say that all the objects or materials in the world are made of elements, compounds or their mixtures. Now what are metals? Gold, silver, iron, copper, aluminium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, platinum are metals. As we already know that metals have luster, metals are hard, and also metals can be made into thin wire or sheets. Also, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, and metals lose their valence electrons to produce positively charged ions, that is, cations. Now let us understand the physical properties of metals. The first property is a physical state. So under ordinary temperature, or we can say at room temperature, metals stay in solid state, and metals like mercury and gallium are exception, which are liquid in state even at room temperature. Then the next physical property is luster. Metals are lustrous. A freshly cut surface of metal or pure metal reflects light due to its luster, that is shining surface. Then the next property is hardness. Metals are hard except sodium and potassium, which are soft and can be easily cut by a knife. Then the fourth physical property is ductility. Metals are ductile and a thin wire can be formed from gold by pulling it through a hole. That means we can define ductility as the property of metals because of which they can be stretched and drawn into wires is known as ductility. Then the next property is malleability. Metals are malleable. A thin sheet can be formed by hammering metal on a platform. Metals such as gold, silver, and aluminium are highly malleable. And we can define malleability as the property of metals due to which they can be converted into sheets by hammering is called as malleability. Now the next physical property is conduction of heat. Metals are good conductors of heat except lead. Among metals, silver, copper, and aluminium are the best conductors of heat. Then the next physical property is conduction of electricity. Except lead, metals are good conductors of electricity. Then the next physical property is density. Metals have high density except sodium, potassium, and lithium. Then next is melting and boiling points. Metals have high melting and boiling points except mercury, gallium, sodium, and potassium. Then the last physical property is sonority. Metals have a ringing sound and this property is known as sonority of metals. That means metals are sonorous and produce sound on striking. Students, now let us learn about the physical properties of non-metals. So the first we will see about the physical state. So at room temperature or at ordinary temperature, non-metals exist as solids and gases except bromine. The next property is about luster. So non-metals are not lustrous. That means non-metals do not have luster except diamond and iodine crystals. Some non-metals are colorless while others have different colors. Then the next property is about brittleness. Solid non-metals are brittle and some non-metals are soft. Diamond is the hardest natural substance. Then the next property is about ductility and malleability. So non-metals are neither malleable nor ductile. That means non-metals cannot be converted into a thin wire. Also, non-metals cannot be converted into thin sheet. Now the next physical properties of non-metals is conduction of heat and electricity. So non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity except graphite. The non-metals have low densities. Then the last physical property is about the melting and the boiling point. So non-metals have low melting and boiling points except carbon and boron. Carbon and boron melt at high temperatures. And students, you have to keep in mind that boron is often considered as metalloid. Students, always remember that gold, silver, aluminium are highly malleable metals. And a sheet with thickness 1 upon 10,000 millimeter and a wire with diameter 1 upon 5,000 millimeter can be made from gold. Now let us study about metalloids. So students, some elements such as arsenic, silicon, germanium, antimony have properties which are intermediate between metals and non-metals. So such elements are called as metalloids. Students, now let us learn about the chemical properties of metals. So the first chemical property of metals is about electronic configuration. Electronic configuration is the basis of chemical behavior of elements, and majority of metals have up to 3 electrons in their outermost shell. For example, we have metal as sodium. So the atomic number of sodium is 11 and the electronic configuration is 281. Then the next example is magnesium. The atomic number of magnesium is 12 and the electronic configuration is 282. The third metal is aluminium. Atomic number of aluminium is 13 and the electronic configuration is 283. Now the next chemical property of metal is about the formation of ions. Now we know that metals have a tendency to lose valence electrons from their outermost shells to form positively charged ions called cations. Sodium has electronic configuration 281. It loses one electron to form sodium cation. And the electronic configuration of sodium cation is 2,8. Then the next is about the magnesium. Magnesium has electronic configuration 2,8,2. It loses 2 electrons to form magnesium cation and the electronic configuration of magnesium cation is 2,8. Then the next is about aluminium. Aluminium has electronic configuration 2,8,3. It loses 3 electrons to form aluminium cation. So the electronic configuration of aluminium cation is 2,8. Now let's understand about the reaction of metals with oxygen. Metals react with oxygen to form their oxides, and this can be written in the word equation as metal plus oxygen gives metal oxide. The oxides of metals are basic in nature and the metal oxides react with an acid to form salt and water. And the word equation can be written as metal oxide plus acid gives salt and water. Now the next chemical properties of metal is reaction with acid. Now students, most of the metals react with dilute acids to form metal salts while hydrogen gas is released. And this can be written in the word equation as metal plus dilute acid gives salt and hydrogen gas is being released. And the next property, chemical property of metal is reaction with water. Now most metals do not show any observable and fast reaction with cold water. Metals like sodium and potassium react rapidly with cold water to form their respective metal hydroxides and hydrogen gas. Other metals do not show any observable change with cold water. Magnesium reacts with hot water and steam. Now let's learn about the chemical properties of nonmetals. So the first property is electronic configuration. Most of the nonmetals have 4 to 7 electrons in their valence shell. For example, nitrogen, atomic number is 7 and the electronic configuration is 2, 5. The next example is oxygen. The atomic number of oxygen is 8 and the electronic configuration is 2, 6. Then the next example is about chlorine. Atomic number of chlorine is 17 and the electronic configuration is 287. The next chemical property is about formation of ions. Nonmetals have a tendency to gain or to accept electron in their outermost valence shells to form negatively charged ions called anions. Chlorine has electronic configuration 287. It gains 1 electron to form chloride ion. And the electronic configuration of chloride ion is 288. Then next about oxygen. Oxygen has electronic configuration 2,6. It gains 2 electrons to form oxide ion, and the electronic configuration of oxide ion is 2,8. Then about nitrogen. Nitrogen has electronic configuration 2,5. It gains 3 electrons to form nitride ion. The electronic configuration of nitride ion is 2,8. Now let's learn about the reaction of nonmetals with oxygen. Nonmetals react with oxygen, or we can say nonmetals combine with oxygen to form their oxides, and the word equation is nonmetal plus oxygen gives nonmetal oxide. The nonmetal oxides are acidic in nature. They react with bases to form soluble salt and water. For example, carbon reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide reacts with sodium hydroxide to form sodium carbonate and water. The oxides of nonmetals react with water to form an acid. Carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide reacts with water to form sulfurous acid. And sulfur trioxide reacts with water to form sulfuric acid. And students, nonmetals do not react with dilute acids. Students, can you recall, while studying chemical properties of metals, it is found that gold and silver do not react readily. Why? Yes, gold and silver are noble metals and occur in nature in the elemental state, that is free state. And they are chemically non-reactive and hence they do not react easily. What are noble metals? Some metals like gold, silver, platinum, palladium and rhodium are noble metals and they occur in nature in the elemental state. Gold, which is 100% pure, is called 24 karat gold. Pure gold is soft and as a result, the ornaments made from pure gold bend or break due to pressure. And therefore, goldsmith mix it with certain proportion of copper or silver. Ornaments are made from 22 karat gold or gold with still smaller carat value. Now there are some uses of noble metals. So what are their uses? Gold, silver and platinum are used to prepare ornaments. Silver is used in medicines because it has antibacterial property. Gold and silver are also used to make medals. Also, gold and silver are used to make few electronic devices. Platinum, palladium metals are used as catalyst. Now let's learn about the purity of gold. As we all know that gold is a noble metal and in nature it occurs in element form, that means in the free state. And 100% pure gold is 24 karat. Even pure gold is soft and goldsmith adds specific amount of copper and silver in the pure gold to make ornaments. So to prepare ornaments, 22 karat gold is used. You can understand by seeing this table. 24 karat gold is pure gold, that is 100% gold. Then in 22 karat, the gold percentage is 91.66. 18 karat, the gold percentage is 75%. 14 karat gold, the gold present is 58.33%. and in 12 karat gold, the percentage of gold which is used is 50%, and in 10 karat gold, the percentage is 41.66. Students, now let's learn about corrosion. Now, gases in the air react with metals in presence of moisture to form metal compounds. The metals get affected by this process and undergo corrosion. So we can define corrosion as the process of slow degradation of the metals due to their reactions with gases in air and moisture is called corrosion. So there are some adverse effects of corrosion too. Corrosion causes contamination of water and other products due to mechanical damage of underground water pipes. It causes loss of efficiency of machines due to damage of metallic equipments. It causes accidents due to mechanical collapse of buildings, bridges, ships, cars, machineries, etc. Cooking vessels made of copper and brass get a greenish coating due to corrosion. This greenish coating on copper or brass vessel is poisonous, and if food is kept in such vessel, it gets spoiled. So students, what are the steps to prevent corrosion? Now let's understand how the corrosion can be prevented. So corrosion can be prevented by applying layers of oil, grease, varnish and paint on metal surface so that the contact of metal surface with air and moisture is prevented. Corrosion can also be prevented by plating metals with another non-corroding metal. This isolates the metals from a direct contact with air and moisture and thus prevents corrosion. Corrosion of iron can be prevented by coating it with zinc. Students, do you know that there is a Statue of Liberty in the sea near New York City in America? The original surface of their statues was made of copper, but now it looks green because green colored copper carbonate has been formed by a reaction of copper with the carbon dioxide and moisture in the air. And students, this is an example of corrosion. Now, what is an alloy? A homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, or a homogeneous mixture of metal with non-metals is called an alloy. Alloys are prepared by mixing the constituent elements as per the requirement. For example, the stainless steel utensils used at home are made of an alloy of iron with carbon, chromium and nickel. The alloy bronze is formed from copper and tin. Now students, do you know that there is an iron pillar in the premises of Qutub Minar in Delhi, which was made about 1500 years ago? The pillar is lustrous even after so many years. This is because our ancestors had made it from an alloy. It contains small proportion of carbon, silicon and phosphorus mixed in iron. So students, this was the end of the chapter. Now let us summarize what we learned in this chapter. So we learned that elements are generally classified into metals, metalloids and non-metals. Then we studied about the physical and the chemical properties of metals. So in physical properties, we learned that metals are in solid state at room temperature except mercury and gallium. Metals are hard except sodium and potassium. Metals are lustrous, metals are ductile, metals are malleable, metals are good conductors of heat except lead. Even metals are good conductors of electricity except lead. Metals have high density except sodium, potassium and lithium. Also, metals have high melting and boiling point except mercury, gallium, sodium and potassium. Metals are sonorous. Then about chemical properties of metals, we learned that metals contain up to 3 electrons in the outermost valence shell. Metals form cations by losing valence electrons. Metals react with oxygen to form basic oxides. And generally, metals do not react with cold water except sodium and potassium. Metals react with acids to form salt and hydrogen gas. Then we studied about the physical and the chemical properties of nonmetals. So in physical properties of nonmetals, we learned that nonmetals exist as solids and gases except bromine at room temperature. Nonmetals are not lustrous except iodine and diamond. Solid nonmetals are brittle except diamond, which is an allotrope of carbon and which is the hardest natural substance. Then we learned that nonmetals are neither malleable nor ductile. Nonmetals do not conduct heat and electricity except graphite, which is an allotrope of carbon. Nonmetals have low density and also nonmetals have low melting and boiling points except carbon. Then in chemical properties, we learned that nonmetals contain 4 to 7 electrons in the outermost valence shell. Nonmetals form anions by gaining electrons in the valence shell. Nonmetals react with oxygen to form acidic oxides and nonmetals do not react with dilute acids. We also learned that noble metals occur in the elemental state, that is free state, and 24 karat is a pure gold and pure gold is soft. Then we learned about corrosion, that is the process of slow degradation of the metals due to their reactions with gases in air and moisture is called corrosion. Then we studied about alloy. What is an alloy? A homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or homogeneous mixture of metal with non-metals is called an alloy. Now students, this is an assignment for you all. You have to name the following. So for that, the first question is a metal which is neither a good conductor of heat nor a good conductor of electricity. Then the next question, an allotrope of carbon which has a luster. Third question, a non-metal which is a yellow colored solid. Fourth question, a metal from which a sheet with thickness of 1 upon 10,000 millimeter or a wire with diameter 1 upon 5,000 millimeter can be prepared. Fifth question, a non-metal with electronic configuration 287. Then the next question, the electronic configuration of oxide ion. And the last question of your assignment is an alloy of iron with carbon, chromium and nickel. Thank you, dear students.